morning, Napa Valley. Everybody here in this beautiful courtyard and online, we welcome you. We're actually live on time this week. Last week we had a few technical problems, so we're ready to go today. And so good to see everybody here today. Everybody who's been coming, everybody who's been a while since you've been here. And it's a beautiful courtyard, isn't it, just to be part of it. And what better way to celebrate our time together with a little music. Bodhi Setchko is here.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So we're going to sing together, okay? I'm going to give you the words. They're very simple. Light my way with the lamp of love. Can you say that? Light my way with the lamp of love, and shine, 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 and shine, 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 shine. Light my way with the lamp of love. Here we go. Light my way with the lamp of love. Again. Light my way with the lamp of love. One more time. Light my way with the lamp of love. And shine, 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 shine. Let me hear you. Shine. Shine, shine. Let me hear you now. Shine, 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 shine. Light my way. Light my way with the lamp of love. Light my way with the lamp of love, and shine, shine, shine. If you like a harmony, you can go. Shine, 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 shine. One more time. Light my way with the lamp of love. Light my way with the lamp of love, and shine, 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 shine. Shine, 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 shine. I feel it. I feel you all shining this morning. I feel it in the air.
I always love how you let the music linger in the air a little bit, a little space for us to feel it.
You can drink it in.
Drink it in. I like that. Thank you, Bodhi. Thank you. Thank you. Good to have everybody here today. We like to begin our service with speaking our vision and mission statement. Now, you don't have a cheat sheet up there, but most of you probably know this by now, but make it up as you go along if you don't. So our vision is we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. I just love this, that we created this, co-created it, the vision and mission statement about 5 years ago. And it still rings true because visions are not about, today I'm going to take a walk. It's like that's a goal, but a vision is out so far out that we are continually to step into this, and yet the mission is how we do it every day. How we do it every day, every Sunday and every day. So the living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people, all faiths, the oneness of all life. So I appreciate you affirming it today, and for myself, I know it because it's also my mission in my daily life too. So thank you for being a part of that and part of that emergence of this vision that's happening. Before we begin the rest of our service, I just wanted to acknowledge, well, first of all, I wanted to do some acknowledgments of our production team. Shauna is in Florida, but is online as well. Jay Brooks is on camera. Michelle Lang is production. Phil Marshall. Georgia Davis is moderating, and Sean is actually just watching today. Laura Keller is here as our practitioner. And of course, Bodhi. So this is technically Earth Day I think it was Friday, but I think every day should be Earth Day. And that we think about the way we eat, the way we use energy, and the way we live in a way that sustains this earth as much as we can. And today happens to be an Earth Day celebration, and it's been probably 2 or 3 years since Napa's had an outdoor celebration, but it's over at Oxbow. They've got Charlie Toledo was from the Intertribal Council, was doing a blessing. They have music and booths and probably food trucks over there. So if you want to be a part of that, that's goes on. I think it's now, but I didn't tell you that, so you have to wait till 11:30 to go at least. So, but I do. I just encourage you to continue to be doing what we can for the planet. For the next 2 Saturdays, so that would be April 30th and May 7th, we're doing work days here just to do a few more things on this courtyard to prepare it for our upcoming events from 9 to 1. My philosophy is come early while it's cool, and then as it gets warmer, then we'll finish up. So as early as possible. Some of it's more physical things, and some of it is more gardening things. So if you are willing to come do some physical work, we're creating a new stage and putting up some more shade cloths and different things like that that require that. But we're also doing some gardening work. So whatever effort you can help, we would appreciate it. So that's the next 2 Saturdays. And then we have Mother's Day on May 8th. We're still, depending on the weather, but we'll probably be outside still on Mother's Day. And we have a special treat where some mothers from our community get up and speak about life as a spiritual path as a mother, that pathway. So we're excited about that. And maybe you're excited to hear somebody else besides me occasionally. So that's on Mother's Day. And then, of course, if you haven't heard it, I'm going to put in the nail a little bit harder. May 14th is our Sip and Savor. We're excited about that. May 1st is the last day to get tickets that are that early bird price. So please get your tickets if you want the discount, both discounts for single tickets and the 2-for-1 tickets, that discount. And there are flyers at the table. That's right. So on your way out, pick up some flyers that we have. And you can pass them out to friends. They're half page, so they're good size, good quality images. So we encourage you to pass those out to friends, and it has a QR code to buy the tickets right on there. Okay, I was looking for. So I wanted to also let you know that our committee, our fundraising committee, and the board took the nominations for the Compassion Heart Award that's being given during the Sip and Savor. And we have our award winners, and I wanted to announce them today. They're also on the flyer. If you don't know much about them, you can research them. The 3 winners are Jenny Olson, who was the founder of Teen Connect and works with Mentis with that Teen Connect now. David Busby, who worked with the table for, probably 8 to 10 years, which was an organization that fed low income and homeless people for no charge at all. But he's running what's called Feeding It Forward, which is an organization that picks up food from grocery stores and restaurants that is uncooked, unused food. The biggest contributor I know is Trader Joe's. They give a lot of food to him. And then he goes and delivers it to Salvation Army, the homeless shelters, and other organizations that work with people that are low income or homeless to feed them. And then the final one is Roger Collinson. And he started, at the start of COVID, he recognized that local restaurants were really hurting a lot. He's a local fireman and paramedic, by the way. So nothing to do with the restaurant business. So he started a Facebook page with a few people. And before it even got officially launched, there were 1,000 members. And now there's like 10,000 members. And it's really been effective in helping the local restaurants stay afloat. Not the chains, but the local restaurants are the ones that could be hurt the most. So really has done things to keep people employed and sustainable in that. So those are our 3 winners. We're excited about that. We'll give them an official award when they come for Sip and Savor. And once again, all their pictures and information are on the flyer, so you can take those to your friends and point out that that's about the awards and things like that. So thank you. Let's give them all a round of applause, those 3 winners. And then the next day on Sunday is going to be a Practitioner Sunday. We're going to honor all the practitioners we have. And then May 21st, we haven't talked about this a lot because we've been so emphasizing Sip and Savor. But I am the Dean of the School of Spiritual Leadership here, which is a ministerial education program for Northern California, Oregon, Washington, a lot of the western states around here. And we have graduations just like any minister, any kind of school like that. So Saturday the 21st, we're having a graduation right here. And you're invited. The one person, you might not know everybody, but you'll know one person for sure. Chris Ashley Moore is coming back. You remember her when she was here with our community. She's coming back to be part of the graduation. And then on Sunday, the very next day, she's also going to speak. So that'll be fun to have her back in our community to celebrate her graduation. Even though the reason why it's kind of a funny thing with her and some other candidates, graduates, is they are already ministers. She's already a minister at a center, but it was delayed because they wanted in-person graduation. And with the pandemic, everything's been delayed. So we're having an in-person graduation, none of this virtual stuff. So that'll be great. And then far out, June 25th, we're having a summer concert with Karen Drucker. So that'll be excited. And maybe June 26th. Yeah. That'll be
one weekend.
Yep.
Might be a bit much.
Yep. I think we can handle it.
Okay.
But we'll see. We might be doing a sound healing workshop on that day, on Sunday. And then ongoing things, meditation on Wednesday night, the Spanish-speaking ministry, 2nd and 4th Sundays, and every Wednesday. Today is one of those days. They'll have their service today. And Course in Miracles group on Tuesdays with Michael Coleman. And I think I mentioned, but again, Wednesday meditation. And then as we move into our sacred time, I just want to, what? Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Are we on? Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. Some people have been asking for CDs. I don't usually bring them anymore because most people don't have CD players anymore. But I do have to leave quickly to a memorial service. So if anybody's interested, I have a couple CDs for sale. Pretty, reasonable. If you still have a CD player and you're interested, come see me straight away after the service so I can get you. There was a request last time I was here for a couple of those. So just letting you know I have those and like that. So come see me. And I also have stickers. If anybody's into stickers, I have stickers now, which are really fun. I know it's mostly a kid thing. You'd be amazed when I tell kids, they get so excited and they put them on their water bottles. But anybody here, there might be a sticker fan here somewhere.
I have stickers on my computer, my water bottles.
All right.
And the other thing I want to let you know as we move into prayer, one of our community members, Ann Davis, delightful member of our community, has passed away. She was challenged with cancer and thought she was making progress with it, and then it turned for her. And unfortunately, she went very quickly once that happened. So we just hold her and her family, her mother, Barbara Kreider, and her son in prayer at this time. And as we know something about a memorial service, we'll let you know. So we just, I know her email was happy go Ann. And she was happy wherever she went. And I know as she makes her transition to her next expression, happy goes Ann, I'm sure. So now we'll begin with the contemplative music.
So if you'd like to soften your gaze or close your eyes, I invite you to do that. And just take a deep, deep breath. And breathe in this glorious, beautiful spring morning. This celebration of Earth Day of our beautiful Mother Gaia. We're so grateful for this life we've been given by the creative principle of everything that created our beautiful earth. This divine force that expresses in us and as us and through us in this very moment as we sit here all together on this beautiful day. As the birds respond to Bodhi's flute, we know we're all connected and we're all one. So we're just thankful for whatever is happening here today. We know that it is good. We know it's the best and highest good for all concerned. We give thanks that this is so. We let this be, and so it is. So good morning. My name's Laura Keller. I'm actually a practitioner here, but I've been missing in action for 2 years since I think the last time I was on platform was March 2020, right when COVID hit. And the reason I've been missing in action is that I've been working in public health for 32 years, and so the last years of my career were consumed in COVID, and my colleagues and I worked 9 to 12-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week, and it was brutal, really. It was really hard, but I couldn't abandon my colleagues and abandon my ship. And then in about March of 2021, when we got all the vaccine clinics up and running and things seemed like there was a light at the end of the tunnel, then I retired. And then, of course, Delta came and then Omicron, but oh well. So I've been retired for a year, and I'm an intense doer. Like, I'm very committed to contributing to my community and being of service, and I've been on full tilt for a really long time, often so much that I couldn't stop or feeling guilty if I didn't do enough. You probably all know that feeling. And so when I retired, I realized I had to stop because I was completely exhausted and there was this unraveling of accumulated stress. And then I started having some health challenges, and I realized if I don't stop, my body will stop me. So I had to go into kind of a hibernation, and someone told me a story that really helped me on the journey of solitude I've been in. And it's about how scientists figured out that caterpillars became butterflies. So you know that caterpillars make a cocoon around themselves, but actually when they're in there, they totally dissolve into a mushy soup of DNA and cells. And then these microscopic kind of filaments come out and reorganize the DNA, and they become caterpillars. So it's quite miraculous. And the more miraculous thing is the way the scientists found out is a group of scientists used some techniques like holotrophic breath work, and they connected with the collective consciousness and downloaded how this process happened. Pretty cool. So anyway, I had to form my own little cocoon, and I had to let my former self dissolve, like Director of Public Health Nursing, Maternal Child Health Director, First Five Commissioner, practitioner, Touchpoints trainer. I had to let it all dissolve into my own little soupy mush. And I also had to confront my own fears, my paralysis about the future and worry about climate. And I had to confront my faith. And then I also had to remind myself that everything spiritually is not always nice and unicorns and rainbows and everybody's smiling and laughing. And there's no certain way you have to do it or a way you have to be spiritual. And we still live in dire times, right? There's still COVID, there's still the horror of the Ukraine, there's still politics, and there's still a climate crisis. And sometimes we may feel compelled to be positive or act positive, and we actually don't feel that way. So that's what I had to do, my time in my self-inflicted dark mush. I had to restore myself so I could feel my light again. I had to restore my courage, my faith, my humor. I had to reflect back on what it means, what's being and what's doing, and where's the balance. Because, you know, self-care and self-love is not a checklist, a little box on your checklist that we do for 10 minutes every day. It's more of a spiritual practice and a way of being. And I also had to reflect that we live in a world with a collective mindset of doing and producing and consuming and materialism that's not sustainable and actually harms our beautiful earth and each other. And living systems cannot be in a state of constant growth. It's not sustainable. Even the cells in our body have to have a period of quiescence where our mitochondria restore, our DNA gets repaired, and old protein and junk protein gets eliminated. It's part of the cycle of life. So as I'm kind of coming out of my self-inflicted cocoon, I'm still in process, I'm kind of messy and wet. I know that that time of darkness is critical, and it's integral to our being beings of light. And that's a place where restoration and growth and evolution happens in the place of disintegration and uncertainty. And it's where creativity and possibility and manifestation is possible. And it can be scary, and it can be uncomfortable, but it's the place where we restore our light. And if you think about it, this pattern is everywhere in life. In the dark of the mother's womb, a little clump of cells becomes an amazing human baby. It's all the same process. So during this challenging times, we all have to find ways to continually restore our light and know and remember from that dark place We are so loved, and we are given the gift of our light and our life. Thank you.
I think I just want to acknowledge all the nurses and doctors and medical professionals and all they did during the pandemic. And I think particularly people who were in the ER and people on the front line were traumatized. It was hard. And what makes it more difficult is when there's a trauma in your life, like say it's a war, there's a time it's over. Or the earthquake, it was over. Or a fire, all the fire was out. This particular trauma is hardest because it's still not over and nobody knows when it will end. So when those traumas continue, like abuse, if it continues to be, it becomes harder. I don't think we're going to solve that today, but I just want to acknowledge you and if you could represent all the nurses and doctors in the area and in this planet that have done so much, given their lives at times, but their soul and their heart to people. And I would love us to give a standing applause for Laura and all medical professionals. Thank you.
Well, I've tried so long to do things my way. Gets me in trouble most every day. Now I feel ready to write a new play. If you feel it too, let me hear you say I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, and I'm ready to let go into the arms of spirit, into the arms of spirit. Yeah, I've been on this ride for so many years. All the rough water on this river of tears. Thinking I can do it myself and push through the fears. Now when I surrender, I see it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm ready to let go. And I'm ready to let go, yeah. And I'm ready to let go into the arms of spirit, arms of spirit. Well, it seems like forever that I've been holding on, hoping for things to get better with each new dawn. Well, the years roll by, it took some time for me to know the only way to get there, I have to let go. Are you ready? I'm ready to let go. Sing it with me. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go into arms of spirit. The arms of spirit. Into the arms of spirit. Into the arms of spirit. Ha ha!
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bodhi. Oh, what a gorgeous day it is. I was smiling during your contemplative song, and you're playing the flute, and the birds were just playing with you. They're just like, there was a certain harmony here, so I love it. So today we are continuing or wrapping up. It's the last Sunday in April, wrapping up our theme on spiritual living, on living everyday wonder, which is actually the annual theme. And today it's opening up the curtains and letting the light in. I know that many of us, because we were so confined for so long, and just like I was talking about the nurses and medical professionals, we were all in different positions or unique places or unique opportunities that we had, and we were confined. Some of us were doing work, were still working more than who were psychologists and working at the state hospital and different jobs we do out into the world that we do within nursing homes and different things, and this was challenging of itself. But even if we were doing those kind of things, we went home, or if we were working from home or retired, we tended to stay in. We tended to stay closed in. And the problem with that is that we also close in our hearts some. We restrict ourselves. If we're out in the world, we're afraid. If we're at home, we tend to be afraid. We're wanting to protect our health and the fear of possibly dying from, COVID or something. So our heart goes in, and now it becomes the almost end of the pandemic, or maybe we're really almost ready to be finished with it. We're still cautious in some ways. So today I wanted the idea of opening up the curtains and letting the light in. And really, this is about opening our heart and letting the light in, reopening our heart. Michelle and I were at the store at different times, and we were noticing we heard the same thing when we were at the store. I was in Whole Foods at the tea aisle trying to look for a particular kind of tea, and this guy comes up and goes, "It's hard to choose what kind of teas." And then he went on to talk for like 3 minutes about teas. And I'm just going, nobody's talked to me in a store. Not only are we without masks now, nobody's even talked to me. And now suddenly there's this like litany of what teas are important and healthy for us. And Michelle was in the frozen food section at Trader Joe's, and she was picking up some frozen Indian food for me. And this person wanted to know why she was choosing that, and was it good? And, I think I'll get some too. And, I love Indian food. I'm going to have that for dinner tonight, And suddenly everybody's just chatterbox in the store, So I think that's good. I think we can step out. What I do know is we can open up our hearts. If somebody's sharing with us, if we're sharing, that we can be that divine being, that divine blessing that's here. I know that ships come into port to heal, to repair themselves, to restock on supplies, but ships are not made to stay in port. They're made to sail out to the sea. And we as humans are meant to be out in the world, connected with other people and sharing. Michael Singer, we were the Inner Journey class, and I were reading a Michael Singer book called The Untethered Soul. And if you've never read that book, it's a phenomenal book, phenomenal. And in the book, he has a metaphorical story about a person who built a house in the middle of a meadow, and they wanted to control their home environment, so they built a house with shutters and curtains and begin to close up that world more and more, and wouldn't let the natural light in, and depended on artificial light, even battery-powered light. And for him, this was a metaphor for us that sometimes our psyche, our emotions, our belief systems, our experiences create walls to the outer world. And we're not letting light in. If we are closed off, that doesn't let the light in. And the other piece of that I want to share with you today, that not only doesn't let the light in, the light that is within us, that's divinely received, is meant to be divinely expressed. And so when our walls are shut, we're not expressing that light either. We're not being that light and making a difference that we know. And so we need to begin by opening the curtains, dismantling some of those walls, opening up, because this is full living, is this vulnerability. And we just begin by opening up the curtains of our heart, of our soul, without knowing what's in the outer world, without knowing what's going to come in. Like sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes we forget about just basic conversations. Like, how do we have a conversation, you know? What do we say? Is it okay to do this? And then so we slowly get into it. Remember, it's like riding a bike. I know what this is. And the muscles, the gears of our heart begin to move and remember what human connection is. And that reminds us of what divine connection is. Some people like to open the curtains just a little bit at first. Some people are the rip it wide open, right? Either way, it's okay. Of course, some of us are like, open it up and go, and close it back up. But when we move against that, when we notice where our edge is what I call it, where our walls are, where our fears are, we can just be mindful of them. And that they don't control us in any way. Elizabeth Gilbert, who's known for the book Eat, Pray, Love, also wrote a book called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. And what she said, if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. So these walls we have, these beliefs we have that we hold on to because that's the way it has always been. If we defend against them, if there's, sometimes somebody might say something to us and it might affect our self-concept, or we get defensive, or we say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. That's arguing for your limitation. If we're willing to go, I wonder what they're speaking about, is there some truth to what they're saying, to consider that possibility. Not let the fear that you might need to do some adjustments. Our biggest fear is not that we need to change a belief system. Our biggest fear is down underneath there's something wrong with us. And that's what we're not willing to look at. I assure you, there's nothing deep within you that's wrong with you. There could be some maladaptations you've had along the way, some changes in at the time seemed like important for survival. But down underneath all of that, remove all the layers of what you do, what you believe, what your identities are in the world as a parent or a husband, a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, environmentalist, progressive, whatever labels we put that people put on us or we put on ourselves, remove all of those, and what's left is the essence of who you are. And it is a perfect and beautiful essence. Think of it as a red convertible sports car, so some people buy this because they look good in them, right? They get to drive up Napa Valley and they're looking good, But you remove the color of the car, you remove the leather interior, you remove the smell of a fresh new car and all the fancy instruments, you remove the entire car, and what's left is a person there who's having an experience of freedom as they drive their car. It's not about the image, never was, never will be. They can make it about that, but it's that experience of freedom that they felt when they were driving it. And they can have that experience of freedom when they're on a bicycle, when they're walking, when they're just sitting in the sunshine. We can all experience that. It's moving and letting go of those identities we have and willing to experience the divine essence. And the only way to do that is move past our fears, our hesitations. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote this in that book, Move Past Your Fears, Big Magic. She wrote this very funny and very interesting letter she wrote to her fear. So she wrote a letter to her fear. I don't know the context of it. I think she was going on a road trip, but really this could be a letter we write to our fear if we're just stepping outside. So this is the way the letter goes. Dear Sphere, creativity, spirit, and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand you'll be joining us because you always do. I do acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life and that you take your job seriously. Apparently, your job is to induce complete panic whenever I'm about to do anything interesting. And may I say, you do a superb job of it. If you feel you must, so by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must. But I will also be doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and stay focused. And creativity will do its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us, so make yourself at home, but understand this. Creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decisions along the way. I recognize and respect that you are part of this family, and I will never exclude you from our activities. But still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed to have a seat. You're not allowed to have a voice. And you're allowed to have a voice, but you're not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to touch the road maps. You're not allowed to suggest detours. You're not allowed to fiddle with a temperature. And dude, you're not allowed to touch the radio. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend, you're absolutely forbidden to drive. So that's Elizabeth Gilbert. And I agree with that 100%. Like fears, I can't, fear's always going to be there. Just don't let it drive. Don't give it a power to vote. You can listen to it. Occasionally, it might have something that's important for you to pay attention to, like, there's a car about to run into you or something, but they don't get a vote. They get a voice, not a vote. So the second thing I want to talk about is following our curiosity, our creativity, that which inspires us and opens us up. We know that when we do that, we can find the sustainable energy, not the energy that goes away or gets used up. I remember a few weeks ago I had a deck of cards, if you remember, and I talked about the way we give energy away. But we also need to think how we gain energy and how we bring it back and how we renew it, the things that inspire us, the creativity within us, the openness to love that we can be. I don't know if you remember I'm sure you do. It's a classic children's book, Velveteen Rabbit. And I just love that book, and the reason it came up is because it's the 100th year anniversary of it. And it's hard to believe 100 years ago, but it's such a universal book because it speaks to kids and adults. And if you remember the story, or maybe you've never read it, but it's about a stuffed bunny who becomes, a stuffed rabbit who wants to become real, and this wise skin horse says, well, the way you become real is to be loved. And so a quote from Marjorie Williams Blanco, who says, the skin horse says, real isn't how you're made, it's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with you, but really loves you, that's how you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes when you're real, you don't mind being hurt, said the skin horse. Does it happen all at once? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily, who have sharp edges, who have to be carefully kept. So talking about toys and talking about people there, right? Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints, and you're very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to the people who don't understand. You can't be ugly except to the people who don't understand. So be curious and seek to understand others. Look past their shabbiness, or look past your own shabbiness. I don't know anybody that has eyes falling out here. But life has a way of wearing on us. But love has a way of making us authentic. And when we're open that, when we get off our knots and our hesitations, is what creates within us a greater truth. Elizabeth Gilbert said, the universe buries strange jewels deep within us and then stands back to see if we can find them. So the third thing I want to say is, as we open up the curtains, to be the love and the light that is within us. Don't wait for the sun to come up, because the light is always with us. Don't wait for the perfect moment to be. Ernest Holmes says that healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea which is already perfect within us. So it is this perfect creation that we do, that we are. And we allow the Spirit to come through us in the pure potentiality of this universe that we have. And we allow Spirit to be that light and love between us. 2 weeks ago, I was called by a reporter at the Napa Valley Register, and I'm in this position that people call me for quotes or things, and I'm going to step forward to that. It's not because I'm more special than anybody, but I'm going to get that, I'm going to talk about us in this community. And so they were talking about Easter, and one of her first questions is, how does it feel back to be normal? I don't know what that means, but I did say about us, I think and this was in the Register, I don't know if you caught it a couple weeks ago before Easter. I think the community is feeling more relaxed about it, and they can feel more joyful in their celebrations. They're excited about connecting and being able to see each other. And then also said there's no better time to reconnect with the faith community. After all, Easter, it was about Easter, is really about transformation and opening up to the newness of life. So that was just who we are, and willing to be that. I'm going to call out somebody in the audience here, Kevin Reed. I don't know if you know him, but if you don't know him, you should. He's been in the media a lot lately. More than I have. His face is in all the, and that's because he's willing to be a spokesman for wineries, advocating that there needs to be access for all people, no matter their ability, but also calling out people that are suing wineries without going through procedures to help them become compliant. They're just automatically suing people. And he's in the unique position as someone who's challenged with his abilities at times and someone who is part of a wine ownership. So, there's nobody else I know that could do that. And yet he's willing to step up and, as his shirt says today, to be loved. So thank you, Kevin. Let's give him a round of applause. I've heard people in this community talk about how they let the hands do the work they do. No matter what kind of work they do, they don't have to be in this glorious position of any kind. And so where'd my musician go? What are you doing hanging out in the back there, Bodhi?
I'm blessing the congregation.
We appreciate that. But I want him to...
Question, Jay.
Okay.
What's the difference between a bunny and a rabbit?
Something about a hare, probably. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm asking you. You said it's not a bunny, it's a rabbit. I've always thought rabbits were bunnies. Anybody else?
It's the same thing.
Be a bunny with your money.
You're splitting hairs with me now.
Touche.
Okay, let's get back to the sacred. Enough of this stuff, okay? So Spirit uses us. We need to be willing to be used in this way. So a little song before my prayer.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, I'm here for you. God is love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to show the light. As you so use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do.
So as we go into this prayer, we just open our hearts and we allow that sense of the divine that is in us and around us, just inviting it to use us. It needs our light. It needs our smile. It needs our hands and our feet, our mind, to express itself into the world. So we are just willing in this moment to be that truth. For we know there is only God. And I know the truth of each of you as you are this divine essence that's perfect and beautiful right where you are. And it is from this perfection that you are able to be this magnificence. And I know this magnificence is true already as you open up the curtains and let this light in and let that light within you be expressed in beautiful and wonderful ways. And so it is. Hard to follow up that with words. Thank you so much, Bodhi. This is the time in our service we invite you to participate in the law of circulation. We know that that which you give, whether it be of time or treasure, is given back to you tenfold, because that is the nature of the spiritual laws. So as you consider what your contribution might be, it might be being part of our Saturday work days. It might be a financial contribution. We appreciate all that you are doing and all that you are in this moment. So I would invite you to take that which you're giving, whether it be of love, and bring it to your heart and repeat with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Feel free to bring your contributions up to the basket, up to the front, or there's one in the back as well. Thank you.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. We also like to acknowledge anybody who might be here for the first time. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have a gift for you, an acknowledgement of it. So raise your hand. Anybody here for the first time? Okay. No. That's good. That's what I'd like to hear. You're renewed in spirit. And we also welcome people who it's been their first time in a while to be back. So you don't get a gift, though. But we love you. How about that? So we raise our hands. We raise our hands and repeat after my phrase to everybody and to those online. If anybody happens to be here for the first time online, we welcome you too. So we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community. And so it is. A couple of reminders is you're welcome to stay for prayer with a practitioner. I think the prayer requests are inside the sanctuary still. If you want to go in there to fill out prayer requests, or online there's prayer requests. We received several this week actually, so the practitioners and I meet on Tuesdays. But as soon as we get a prayer request, we start on it right then, but we officially gather on Tuesdays. And then also take one or two or 10 of those flyers and pass them out to friends. And remember that May 1st is the deadline for the early bird ticket prices. So we want you to do that. So anything else? CDs are up here. Bodhi's got to leave pretty quickly. So if you do want to, that would be your first stop would be up here. We'd appreciate that. And the community affirmation. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by Spirit. I am guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is. And now let's all stand for the peace song. So as we go forth, we know the light within us, and we open up those curtains and let the light shine. And so it is.